Hey guys, how you doing? Well, I'm doing okay. Um, Even though I said I would not talk about political issues anymore, there are a couple of things that I do want to talk about. Um, Remember, never say never, right? Okay, two things. Number one, the Democrats' accusation against President Trump for being racist when he talked about Elijah Cummings' district of it being rat fested. Now, the Democrats love to play the race card. They love it. Trump doesn't care what race the person is. Okay? He doesn't care what race he is. He could be white, he could say the same thing. If there's a rat infested cities are colorblind. They don't care what color the representative is. They don't care. The rats and mice will roam wherever there is food. They don't care who is allowing it to happen. It could be a white person. The rats don't care. They will still infest the city if conditions warrant for rats and vermin to, you know, take over a city. Okay. The rats don't care. The rats are colorblind. The rats will still be there. Hell, I remember David Letterman talking about the rats in New York City on his show. He talked about rats. That New York City at the time had a rat problem. And I remember when I heard that, I said, wow, I'm glad I'm not in New York City. I dealt with cockroaches. I dealt with cockroaches, bed bugs, scabies. It doesn't matter. The Waldorf Astoria, I remember hearing about, had a bed bug problem. It doesn't matter. The bed bugs don't care. The bed bugs don't care what race the mayor is. If bed bugs or rats or vermin or lice or scabies or wherever, they will go where they go. Okay? So for them to call President Trump racist for calling attention to Elijah Cummings' district of how dirty and rat infested his district is, it's just absurd. It's just absurd. And there was nothing racial in it. In fact, he said, why don't you take care of your city? Like Nancy Pelosi doesn't take care of her city. And whoever the district is in Los Angeles doesn't take care of their city. Okay, and what's going on in Chicago? What's going on in Detroit? I point out to you some of the statistics that I looked up online. It's online, this information. So, and they started investigating. It says, and they showed a video of Bernie Sanders talking about Baltimore a few years ago of how rat infested it is. Now you're going to call Bernie Sanders a racist because he said that? You might as well. Bernie Sanders called Baltimore rat infested. So why don't you call Bernie Sanders a racist? You might as well, right? So this whole racist bullcrap is getting tired and boring. And it doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the problem that Baltimore, and I visited Baltimore when I was younger. I thought it was a very nice city. Now I'd probably be afraid to go there. And now I don't want to go to San Diego after what I heard there. Well, San Diego not so bad. San Diego not so bad. LA and San Francisco. Or Chicago. I always wanted to visit Chicago. Not anymore. Not anymore. Because when cities are allowed into neglect, okay, I just saw an example of how bad New York City has become with de Blasio by informing the officers that if they are assaulted, they cannot arrest those who assault them. And de Blasio is Caucasian. And yet I would never want to go to New York City again. And there's nothing racist in what I'm saying. There's nothing racist in anything. We don't care about race, except the Indy 500. The only race I care about, or the human race. Now that's a race I care about. The human race. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what nationality you are. They were making fun of Melania Trump because of her accent. We all have different accents. It doesn't matter the accent. Oh, you want everybody to speak in monotone? And for us to say what we have to say, we have no inflection in our voice. Do you want us to talk like that? You want to, oh, he can't speak English very good. Can you understand him? Can you comprehend him? Can he convey what he wants to convey to you? As long as you understand him, who cares what accent his voice is? Who cares? It's unimportant. So Melania Trump doesn't have a thorough American accent. There's no such thing as an American accent. There isn't. Everybody has their own accents. I asked a speech therapist about accents because so many people tell me I have a New York accent. I don't think so. I talk as I talk. I know there are some accents that have been made fun of, like the Boston accent, which it was sort of done in the movie Jaws. Don't park too far from the car. And I thought that was so exaggerated until I saw an episode of Cops that was in Boston and Boston police officers. And I listened closely for that accent. And I'm not hearing that don't park too far from the car accent. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear that. I said, I don't hear that accent. Until one officer said a certain sentence. And then I thought, oh wow. Yeah, I can hear that accent. But it's so subtle. It's such a subtle accent that a Boston accent, if that wasn't called upon in the movie Jaws, I never would have known it. I never would have paid any attention to it because it's unimportant. It's unimportant the accent somebody has. It really is. It's so unimportant. Really. It's so unimportant. But anyway, accents are unimportant. Skin color is unimportant. It's amazing how the left makes unimportant things important. It's like if this is your speaking point, if this is your common topic of conversation, I would be bored stiff. Talking about race, talking about accents, talking about gender, talking about, hey, why don't we talk about eye color? Hell, you're going to go on skin color. Why don't you make a big thing about eye color, hair color, bald people? Oh, you shouldn't be friends with bald people. You shouldn't be friends with blue-eyed people. Blue-eyed people are evil. I mean, it's the same Nonsense. It's the same nonsense. You might as well talk about eye color, hair color. Actually, there have been jokes about hair color. Hell, they made jokes about blonde girls. How clueless the dumb blonde jokes to make fun about blonde girls. And every blonde woman I see, okay, all right, I hear ambulances all the time, and police cars. Anyway, I often made the joke is, uh-oh, they found me. I don't know how, but they found me. You know, I make that joke. So the dumb blonde jokes I've heard. What did how many dumb blondes does it take to change a light bulb? You know, I mean, I've heard it all. And you know what? A lot of those jokes just aren't funny. They aren't. Now we can have our own humor. You know. Just like I had said once before, Jewish comedy amongst Jews, we get the joke. Other people don't, you know. So we can laugh at ourselves. That's the sad thing about the left. They don't know how to laugh anymore. They don't know how to laugh at themselves. They don't know good humor anymore. They probably go to Ben and Jerry or Baskin Robbins instead of good humor. Ha ha ha, bad joke. You know. But at least I tried, right? But then again, my delivery wasn't that great. Okay, I'll try better next time. But anyway, so that's what we got. Okay, we got phony race card accusations against Trump for calling out the city of Baltimore. Who cares what color his skin is? My God. You people talk about the most unimportant things. It gets tiring after a while. It's like, oh, please. Can you change the record already? My God. It's so boring now. Oh, it's racist. The only races I care about is the human race and the Indy 500. Those are the only races I care about. Anything else, unimportant. Doesn't exist. Okay. Now, that's about Baltimore. Okay. Next, the other thing I want to talk about is something that Jerry Nadler said in an interview about his going forward with impeachment. He said, when we get more evidence, okay, he said when we get more evidence, we will move forward in proceedings. Now, how many pieces of evidence do you need to charge somebody with a crime? See, I caught that when I first heard that. When you get more evidence, what about the evidence you already have? Right? How many pieces of evidence? You need 5. Maybe you need 10 pieces of evidence. Or maybe 13. Maybe you have 4 pieces of evidence, but the statute says you must have 9 pieces of evidence before you can start on anything. Or maybe the rule says you need 11 pieces of evidence, and you only have 3. Oh, I need 7 more pieces of evidence. So we're waiting to gather 7 more pieces of evidence, then we will reach our quota of 11. Because 11 pieces of evidence is required to charge somebody with a crime. Or 12, or 10, or 5. Just where is it written? How many pieces of evidence do you need to charge somebody with a crime? I'll tell you, folks. Do you know how many pieces of evidence you need to charge somebody with a crime? 1. many, many, many crimes have been filed against people on a single piece of evidence. A single piece. Single piece. And sometimes that piece of evidence is false. It happened to me. It happened to me. When I told you about that I antagonized the dog. That's all they had to do was charge me by antagonizing the dog, no witnesses. And they had that one piece of evidence, the original charge, and they won. They won. And the paper had to basically treat them to free papers until the cost of repairs and vet bills are taken care of. One. The original charge. And in many cases, many cases, all you need is one piece of evidence. Just one. Just one. Look what happened to what's his name? There used to be a comic who was removed from office because of sexual harassment or whatever. He was a comic. I'll say live. His name escapes me, but I think you know what I'm talking about. One woman charged him. One piece of evidence. That's it. That's all there was. One complaint. And boom. That was enough. That was enough. Just one. One charge. One person. One piece of evidence. Just one. And that's it. And that was enough. He was charged. You know. How many crimes are committed, and all they have to go for it is one and only one piece of evidence. And 9 times out of 10, those crimes based on one single piece of evidence is enough to convict. Just one. Just one. That's it. That's all. Just one. So, how many pieces of evidence does Nadler have? How many pieces? Does he ever say how many pieces he has? Does he say how many pieces he needs to charge? What is the minimum? What is the requirement to charge for a crime like this? How many? Ask him. I'll bet you he won't answer. Nobody thinks to ask him. He keeps saying, oh, we got evidence, we got evidence, we got evidence. I got evidence, but I can't share it yet. Put up or shut up. That's what I say to that. Anybody can say anything. I told you that before. Anybody can say anything. I can say dishi biti batu boo. Means nothing. Nothing. Put up or shut up. Shit or get off the pot. Right? Put up or shut up. What's your evidence? What's your evidence? Tell us. Tell us what you have. Right? Now, in some other cases, the district will build up a case, But how long has this been going on? See, I can understand some cases, they require a lot of evidence, to come through the charge. But how long have they been pursuing this? How long? A day? a week, a month, a year, 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. If you don't have enough of a case to charge somebody with a crime after 3 years, because this started during the campaign. They were calling for Trump's impeachment even before he won the election. Before November. Or I think maybe actually once he won. I guess I don't have my facts straight, right? But this whole thing started during the campaign. So from November of 2016 to July of 2019, think of that now. Think of that. November 8th, 2016 to the end of July of 2019. So we're talking about a little over 2.5 years. And after 2.5 years, you still don't have enough? Think about it. Think about it. How many cases do not get filed after over 2.5 years of gathering information? After 2.5 years of investigating, and you still don't have enough? I don't think it's there. I would think after a while, it's like, okay, you're investigating a crime, few months. When it comes to a year, 2 years, and even 2.5 years, and you still don't have enough, I don't think you'll have enough. I don't think you'll get enough. I don't think there ever will be enough. 2.5 years and you don't have enough. After 2.5 years, you know what that does? If you have been trying to create a case to charge a crime after 2.5 years and you don't have enough, either you're very incompetent in your research and gathering information, or there's nothing there. There never was. And 2.5 years, that's not a compliment, that's an insult. I mean, you just opened yourself up for the biggest insult to your abilities. You made a laughingstock of yourself. If you gotta look for 2.5 years, and after 2.5 years, you still don't have enough, I think a lot of people will question your ability of doing this. It's like, I don't think you're doing that good a job, sir. Maybe you should give it over to somebody else who could probably do a better job and be able to do it in a lot shorter time. But 2.5 years and you're still looking and you still don't have enough, you're not paying yourself any compliment, sir. 2.5 years? That's nothing to brag about. Are you bragging about that, Mr. Nadler? Are you bragging? Hey, I'm going 2.5 years. Yay! Good for me. 2.5 years. Wow, this is great. Oh, we're going to do it. Oh, I'm so proud of the ability that I've been searching for 2.5 years. Oh, boy, that's something to be proud of. Man, 2.5 years and we still don't have enough. Hey, that's good stuff, man. I don't think so. I don't think so. That is not something to brag about. That you've been searching 2.5 years and you still don't have enough. What are you looking for? You're looking for grand jury testimony? You think there's going to be something in there from grand jury testimony? You know, and what did, what's his name, say on NBC? Lou. He first said that he couldn't indict because he was sitting president, and then after the break, he changed his mind so somebody got to him. Okay, Mr. Lou, you're very good at explanations. That your explanation is an ironclad explanation as to why Mueller changed his stance and changed his position, saying that what he said earlier was wrong. Okay, and you're explaining it, oh, somebody got to him. Hey, great explanation. Hey, Mr. Lou, you're great at information. You're great at explanations. I'll bet you have an answer to this one. Why did Mueller ask so many times to repeat a question? Oh, I'd love to hear your explanation of that, Mr. Lou. Why was Mueller saying, could you please repeat the question? Could you please repeat the question? Can you explain that, Mr. Lou? I'd love to hear your explanation on that. And why he didn't know a lot of things in his own report. Because he's, oh, that's not on my purview. Mr. Mueller, it's in your report. It's on this page. Turn to it. If you don't remember what you wrote. Okay. He didn't know. Mueller didn't know half of what was in his own report. Reminds me of that Ford woman against Kavanaugh. I wrote that to the Washington Post. Wait a second. Let me read what I wrote to the Post to refresh my memory. You don't even remember what you wrote. You don't even remember what you accused. You don't remember what you charged. It's your own report. It's your own. It came from you. How could you not know what you said? Could you have dementia? Maybe that's why you don't know what's in your own report. Are you lying? Maybe that's why you don't know what you wrote to the Washington Post. I don't know what I wrote to the Post. I don't know what's in my own report. Tell me, explain that, Mr. Lou. Explain that one. I'd love to hear your explanation for that. Number one, explain why Mueller had to keep asking to repeat a question and why he didn't know what was in his own report. I'd love to hear your explanation of that, Mr. Lou, because you had a wonderful explanation as to why Mueller changed his position about not charging the president because you can't indict a sitting president, when in fact you couldn't because there was insufficient evidence to charge him. Oh, they got to him. They got to him. Oh, yes, they got to him. I know somebody got to him. And that is my explanation, and it's a great one, and it's an accurate one. Okay, Mr. Lou, tell me, explain to me why Mueller had to keep asking to repeat a question and why he didn't even know what was in his own report. Give me a good explanation of that, Mr. Lou. Can't wait to hear it. So that's basically all I want to talk about. But how many pieces of evidence after 2.5 years? After 2.5 years of building up a case for impeachment. After 2.5 years, you still do not have enough evidence after 2.5 years. Hey, Mr. Lou, how's that one? Maybe you can give an answer on that one. Maybe you have a good explanation of that one. Maybe you could explain why Nadler, after 2.5 years, still does not have enough. After 2.5 years, still doesn't have enough. Explain that, Mr. Lou. Explain that one. I'd love to hear your explanation for that one. Oh. If this whole damn thing wasn't so drastic, I would laugh. But this is tragedy. This is sad. This is really pathetic. Sad and tragic. And to think I used to be a Democrat. You know. And Rush Limbaugh, let me tell you. When I first heard about Rush Limbaugh, I thought he was a bombastic, angry, I don't know. And I was like, Rush Limbaugh, oh my God, you're talking shock radio or whatever, you know. Like Howard Stern. I put Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh in the same category. And it's all shock. And Don Imus, they're all part of that shock radio. And while I like Don Imus, I didn't like Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh. But now that I've left the Democrat Party, because it's a very bad party, I think half of them are drunk. Somebody spiked the punch bowl. That party is just... And went over to the Republican Party. It's a lot of fun party. Hell, I didn't even know what I was missing. But now that I've actually heard from Rush Limbaugh, it's like, hey, this man makes a lot of damn sense. Wow. And it's like, I like Rush Limbaugh. He is a smart guy. Very articulate. And he really is more articulate than I am. You know, it's like, damn. He and Judge Jeanine, Sean Hannity, and Tucker Carlson, all of them, man, they have better articulation skills than I got. And I try. But damn it, they are on the ball. Every one of them. It's like, I'm impressed. It's like, wow, this couldn't have been said better even if I tried. So, anyhow, that's all I want to talk about. So, I hope you like what you heard. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And later on, you know, we'll have more fun later on. Okay? But after I heard Nadler said, we're still looking for more evidence. That's what prompted this. That's what prompted me to speak up. How much more evidence are you looking for? How many pieces? How many pieces do you have? How many pieces are required to go forward? 3, 5, 10, 12? How many? How many pieces do you have? How many more to meet your quota? What Nadler said just threw me aback. I said, we're still looking for more evidence. Okay, so you're admitting you already have evidence. Isn't that enough? All you need is one piece of evidence. That's really all you need. In most cases. Yeah, I guess in other cases you need more. But how many pieces do you already have? How many do you need? And you just want to wait to see the grand jury testimony? You ain't going to get it. You're not going to get it, Mr. Nadler. You already have hearsay. You already have, I was trying to remember what I said before. You got hearsay. You got, and before I forget, there was one defining moment in this obstruction theory, in this obstruction charge, that Mueller was obstructed and President Trump is guilty of obstruction. Mueller was asked, were you in any way impeded, interrupted, prevented from doing your search? And he answered an emphatic no. I was never interrupted. I was never prevented. I was never impeded. I was never kept from doing what I was to do. No. Absolutely no. I was not interfered with. My research, my work was never interfered with. No. I was not obstructed in any way, shape, or form. No. I was never interfered with. Nobody interfered with it. Nobody. And that was from Mueller's own lips. So, Mr. Nadler, what more are you looking for? You want to charge President Trump with obstruction of the investigation, and yet Mueller testified that he was never interrupted. He was never obstructed. He was never prevented. He was never kept from doing his job. So what obstruction you want to charge President Trump with? He never did it. He might have talked about it. Like I said, oh my God, that's a thought crime. Oh yeah, you better arrest him. You better arrest him because he thought about it. And now thought crime is punishable by death. A thought crime. Because he had the thought, he is guilty, guilty, guilty. Put the cuffs on him. Put him in a locked cell. Because he thought it. Even though he never did it, but he thought it. And a thought crime is punishable by death. A thought crime. And that's what you're going after. A thought crime. Even though he never ever did. Now, I don't want to diminish these women who want to murder their husbands and pay somebody to do the murder. But you see, that's even a different thing. That's a different thing, because even though she said she wanted to kill her husband, even though she thought about killing her husband, she went ahead and paid an undercover officer money to kill him. That is not considered a thought crime, because she actually did, in fact, pay somebody to do the job. That is a crime. Thinking about it isn't a crime. Speaking about it isn't a crime. But when those thoughts and speech result in action, in actual acting, doing the actual thing, actually paying somebody to kill your husband, that's a crime. Thinking about it isn't a crime. Talking about it isn't a crime. But actually paying somebody, actually transferring a cash or check to somebody, that is a crime. how many times do we say, oh, I could kill you for that. Oh, I'll kill you. Oh, I want to kill you. You drive me so crazy, I want to kill you. Do we then arrest you for having a thought of attempted murder? What? Because you said it? Because you thought it? So you can charge him with attempted murder because you said it and thought it, even though you didn't do anything to that end? You didn't buy anything. You didn't pick up anything. You didn't arrange for anything. You just said it and thought it. But that is enough to charge you with a thought crime, and that is punishable by death, by torture, because you thought it and you spoke it. This is right out of George Orwell's 1984. A thought crime. And Mr. Nadler, it seems that's all you got going, is a thought crime. Because he never did a thing. Not one single solitary thing. Well, it's kind of getting overcast outside. That's why I've been looking over my shoulder over there. I think it's raining. Yeah, it looks kind of outside. Alright. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about. And who knows? Nothing is ever promised. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I promise I will not, talk about all this serious stuff. Okay, so can't even do it. No teeth. There it is. Okay. Alright, so I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Okay. Bye.